Okay. Okay, nerds, today is a huge one. We are freaking out because Mona Awad is here. You know her from Bunny, Rouge, All Things, and 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl. Her books are dark, funny, surreal, and totally unforgettable. The kind you read once and then think about forever. And now she's given us the gift of We Love You, Bunny, her brand new novel that takes us back into the Bunnyverse in the most twisted, brilliant way. We honestly can't believe we get to sit down with you and talk all things bunnies, magic, and pick your amazing brain. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so, so much. It's a pleasure to
Yeah.
be here. Yeah.
Welcome,
Yay.
welcome. Do
I'm only gonna nitpick on one thing, Stacy, that you
you want
messed
me to
up.
do it again?
But nope, we're not gonna. But it's okay. You just messed up one of her books, but that's okay.
Which one?
Okay.
All's well.
Yeah.
All's well. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're moving along. Thank you, Mona, for joining us.
Mhm.
Um, um, so first, can you obviously again, thank you, but can you just give us a little brief, synopsis about your newest book, your newest bunny book that, you know, I guess, yeah, just like I said, highlight or overview on kind of what it's about. We know it's a sequel to your first, We Love You Bunny book, but yeah, just kind of tell us a little bit about what it's about.
Oh, okay. Sure. It's a sequel and a prequel.
Mhm.
And it's basically sort of picks up a couple of years after they've all graduated, Samantha and the bunnies. And Samantha has written a book called Bunny, and she's on tour for it. And the bunnies um, conspire to kidnap her and tie her up in Creepy Doll's attic. And they tell her how she got it all wrong about them in her book, Bunny. And they tell her the story of how they sort of came together as the bunnies and their first creation and all of that. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's a return, and it sort of goes back in time, but it also is it's also a follow up.
yeah, that sounds amazing. Super. Have you
Yeah.
guys, I was like, you guys have both read Bunny. I know Stacey, you have.
Hmm.
Ashley, you've read it too. Okay, perfect. Because I
Hmm.
literally just finished it, so I'm super excited to read this next. Like you said, kind of prequel, sequel. How was writing like We Love You Bunny different than Bunny? Like, what were, I guess, the challenges or exciting parts of that?
Uh, well, the challenges. Well, I mean, it's the challenge was just that Bunny has every reader has a very particular relationship to the world of Bunny and to the characters. And so if
Hmm.
you if you try to write a follow-up, then you could potentially compromise that relationship. And I would hate to do that in any way, but I felt this calling towards returning to the world of it. And I felt like there were stories there that I wanted to tell, particularly the stories of the bunnies themselves and the story of how they came to be was really, really exciting to me. When I wrote Bunny, that was years ago. It's like back in 2015 to 2017. That was kind of the
Yeah.
timeline there. It was my first real novel because my first book was sort of like a collection, a linked collection of short stories. Um, and so I was pretty scared, when I was writing Bunny. It was totally new territory for me. It was playing with the surreal, which I'd never done before. It was playing with fairy tale. It was playing with horror. So, I had some moments when I was writing it where I did not think I could do it. And, I got pretty depressed and I almost gave up at one point. I showed it to my first agent, like just the first half of it, and she wasn't into it. So I was really depressed about that too. But I was really compelled by it, so I eventually picked it up and finished it because I just wanted to see if I could do it, and I wanted to see what would happen. I just loved it,
Hmm.
and I felt that commitment to finishing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Bunny was like kind of fraught, like it was
Hmm.
super exciting to write, but it was also pretty scary because it was a lot of firsts for me.
Mhm.
Returning to We Love You, Bunny, I felt some pressure because Bunny already existed. but
Hmm.
writing it was such a joy. Like I just loved being back in that world so much. It came to me pretty easily, I do have to say.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Because
Yeah.
it's such a unique book.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
the best in all the best ways. It's such a unique book. And yeah, for like I said, I literally just finished it probably a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I don't know where this book's going, but I'm interested. And
Hmm.
it's so unique. And even though personally, I'm not gonna speak, I like Rouge better. That's my
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Rouge
yeah.
is
That's
oh,
fair.
that
Hmm.
just got me. But I still really loved Bunny. But I guess okay, now comparing the two of them,
Mhm.
Rouge was after Bunny. How did that feel writing that since you had already published Bunny and that was
Yeah.
successful?
Yeah. I mean, Rouge was scary because I knew it was going to be very gothic. And I knew it was going to be funny, but I knew it wasn't going to be like laugh out loud funny. Like I knew it was going to be more subtly funny, like very darkly funny.
Hmm.
So tonally, I knew it was going to be different. And you know, well, I mean, all my books have like stuff, you know, that comes from like my life,
Hmm.
my experiences. But Rouge was a very personal book in a lot of ways. So yeah, every book has its own weird challenges, but I do have to say, writing Rouge was another total trip. I still miss it. I still miss being in the world of that book.
Hmm.
You know, I still like come out and write in La Jolla. Because you know, this place was so inspiring
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
writing it here was so magical.
Hmm.
So yeah, Rouge felt risky too. Rouge felt as risky as Bunny, I would say.
Just like
Hmm.
in a different way, in different ways.
Yes,
Yeah.
in different ways, in
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
ways. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know if people were gonna, I didn't know if people could hang with some of it, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. But
like
it's
the Tom Cruise, etc.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
loved it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I just
half,
go
oh,
ahead, go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm halfway through Rouge right now. I'm listening to the audiobook of it, so I haven't finished it yet. But I have to say, it it's just so amazing and complex, and just the relationship of the main character and the mother. It just immediately I loved it. It's just,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm obsessed with it right now.
Oh,
So,
good. I'm so glad.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fairy tale vibe of it, it was really exciting to me. You know,
Hmm.
I love playing around with fairy tales, but it needs to feel real to me. Like
Hmm.
I just, it needs to feel like these are real people. You know, they're
Yeah.
not archetypes. They're like real people in the world. So that's always
Hmm.
kind of like that's always the challenge for me is like using an archetype, but making sure that that character is super grounded in the real world and kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, making sure that I hit that balance so that I believe it, you know, because otherwise it just, why would you bother, right? Why would you be invested?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think you have such a beautiful and unique way of writing, especially with Bunny, as you were saying, they feel like real people. When I was reading it, it felt so real. And then there was this like undercurrent element of like this magic thing happening too. But
Hmm.
it all feels so real when you're reading it. Like I
But
just
it
didn't know which
also
way it was going to
doesn't
go.
feel real
I know. It's
at
like,
the same
yeah.
time. I feel like so for Bunny versus Rouge, there's parts in Rouge, but in Bunny, I was almost like I'm like, is this a dream? I kept
Hmm.
thinking that in my head. I'm like, you know, is Samantha is she like is she in a dream right now? Is this not real? Which obviously is it is. I have not to spoil it for anyone listening, but I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
it almost seems like a fog. She's in this fog and with these bunnies and with her classmates, and but it's like it's your writing because
Hmm.
it's that surrealism, where oh, this could be real, this could be happening, and it's amazing anyway. We'll just keep complimenting you the whole
Well, I mean,
Um,
I
uh,
appreciate that. I think the reason that it might feel that way is just because you're just really deep in her head. And I think whenever you're
mhm.
like deep in a character's head, everything starts to feel hallucinatory.
Yeah,
Everything kind of can take on a dreamlike quality. Because that's kind of the way that we experience the world, I think.
yeah,
And so I try to capture that in my with my narratives, especially if I'm writing in first person.
yeah, yeah. I think you do such a great job. So you've kind of talked a little bit about fairy tales, but what else, or I guess what specific fairy tales were like inspiring for your books, and what other inspirations did you have for writing?
Um, I think for Bunny, probably it was Beauty and the Beast for sure. Yeah, there's so many different variants from all over the world. There is a version in which there is a rabbit groom. I think it's called the Hare's Bride, and it's by the Brothers Grimm. But it's a very sad, very dark, kind of violent fairy tale. Most fairy tales end super violently.
Mhm.
It's not something that you see in the Disney versions, but they almost all end violently.
Yeah,
They love
yeah,
to end on a note of violence. Even Snow White ends on a note of
Mhm.
violence. It ends with
yeah,
the queen dying.
yeah.
That's how it ends. It doesn't end with Snow White and the prince kissing or anything
Mhm.
like that. It ends with like a violent death. And so, yeah, I mean, Snow White obviously is
Mhm.
I've wanted to write a Snow White story for years and years and years. So I feel really grateful that I found a story to explore it in, which is Rouge. Um, I think all of my books are rewrites of The Little Mermaid in some way, always. I don't know why I think that, but I guess I just do.
That's awesome.
There's just something about that story. It's like I think the one thing that all my characters have in common is that they're kind of unhappy in their own skin and they long
Mhm.
for change or they long for a different home or they long to belong. They want to belong so badly. And there's usually in my books a transformation that happens. You get the thing that you want, that you say you
Mhm.
want, but then there's a cost to getting what you want. And that's essentially the arc of The Little Mermaid. That's it.
Mhm.
She
Oh, yeah.
has a
You think about
soul.
it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then she has to pay the price.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
and that's why I love fairy tales, is because I think that they are really interested in that. They're interested in giving you the magic of transformation, but they also give you the reality of cost, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes you think.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And
That's
I love the original Little Mermaid because she turns into sea foam at the end, right? Like that's the cost
So
of,
mhm. Yeah.
I
yeah.
It's a
love
tragic story.
It's really, really beautifully written, though.
Mhm.
Those Hans Christian Andersen stories are amazing. And another one that I really love is The Red Shoes by Hans Christian Andersen, which was partially uh, fodder for Rouge because she has red shoes in the book and
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to this thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so
Very
obsessed with it
cool.
right now. I
Yeah.
love it so much. Sorry, I'm like my whole mindset is in Rouge right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just side
Yeah.
note, the audiobook is amazing.
Oh,
Whoever
yeah.
Both of
narrated
them,
that book.
Bunny and Rouge,
It's
they're
all
all
the
Yes.
same
really good.
narrator.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
she'll be narrating, or she finished narrating We Love You, Bunny. So she's been my
Oh.
narrator now for 4 books.
Oh
She's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
is so good. She's so good. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, so good. Amazing. Um, okay, so do you have thoughts or ideas for your next book after We Love You, Bunny? Is it still fairy tale inspired, or do you have any ideas?
yeah. I'm working on something. It's I think it's starting to take shape.
Mm,
And I think it's about being lost. That's what the book is about.
mm,
Mhm.
Being lost in love and being lost in books, and being lost in a world. So yeah, that's what it's about. I've written quite a bit of it, but now that I'm, about to publish We Love You, Bunny, it's almost impossible to focus on
Mhm.
anything else.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I think I have to put it aside until after I'm finished this tour and
yeah.
everything.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, do you prefer writing like standalone books now that you've written like a sequel, prequel, or would you ever do another
Oh yeah,
sequel or
I would.
prequel?
I
Mm.
would because I really, really, really become attached to the worlds of my novels. Maybe that won't always be the case, but it was the case for Bunny, All's Well, and Rouge. I was
Mhm,
Mhm.
attached to all three of them, and it was very, very hard to let go of each one.
mhm,
Um, very hard. And in the case of Bunny, it was so hard that I ended up writing another one.
mhm.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think there are stories in Rouge and there are stories in All's Well, and I think there will probably be another Bunny at some.
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Whoa.
just writing "We Love You, Bunny" opened a door
Yeah,
to
yeah.
another story that I think I could tell, that I would be excited to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could picture like a cast, a dream cast for the Bunny universe, who
Mhm.
would you have in mind for some of those characters? Or have you thought about this? Or has someone picked it up? And
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's been optioned by Bad Robot, so it's in
Mm.
development at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
Yeah, and there is I mean there are some people attached to it.
Oh,
Um,
that's so cool.
but I think
Mm.
yeah, I mean I think there are so many. I've thought about who would play Fosco a lot.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean there are just so many great female actresses around that
Mhm.
age
Yeah, yeah.
who do such an incredible
Such a good
job.
job. Yes.
But yeah, Tilda Swinton would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, Max, back when I the first time I sold film rights to Bunny was like way back in 2017. So now it's been optioned 3 times. This is the third
Oh,
film option. So fingers
wow.
crossed this one is the one.
Yeah, yeah.
But back
Mm.
in 2017, I thought I think it's Skarsgård, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
Pennywise and It.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought
That's
he
what
would
you
have been
thought.
a brilliant Max, but at this point, I don't know if he could do it. He's too old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. It's like some like dark brooding guy. You gotta,
yeah,
or
definitely
Mhm.
maybe Austin Butler. That could be another
Oh,
good.
yeah. Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would
He's
be a good one.
youngish. Yeah. 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 That's a good cast. Okay. Just now focused on you, what are like some of your favorite tropes, book tropes in general that
Mhm.
you like to read um for your own personal like I guess what do you like to write as well, but also what do you personally like to read when you're personally just looking at books. What are some of your favorite tropes?
Yeah, I love like a lonely soul story. Like I'm obsessed with Jean Rhys's novels, every single one, because it's always the same. It's always like some lonely, probably drunk woman in Paris or London
Hmm.
who can't afford like clothes, but she wants clothes. And she's just like sitting around brooding and thinking about
Yeah.
her past and her present
Yeah.
and and judging people as they I don't know. I just there's just but she's got like there's heart there. Like
Mhm.
there's a tenderness also. There's a vulnerability.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I kind of love that. I love that kind of lonely outsider first person story.
Mhm.
Um, I also love somebody who is blind in some way, like an innocent. Hearing the story from someone who doesn't have all the details, right?
Ooh,
They're
yeah,
missing
yeah.
Mhm.
something important, and you know it, but they don't know it, and so
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
feel like nervous for them. Um,
Ooh.
like an example of that is probably like Piranesi by Susanna Clark. The
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the main
Mhm.
character in that is lost in a labyrinth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't seem to know how they got there. They don't know anything about their past. And you start to realize as you're reading that like this person's in trouble. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they don't know. They don't know they're in trouble, but they are.
Yeah.
I love that kind of story because you feel a lot of tension, right away.
Mhm.
I like tension, like from just a character being innocent in a fraught situation. I like
Mhm.
a lonely soul.
Mhm.
And I like somebody who's going to tell me the truth. I like that kind of narrator a lot. Like,
Mhm.
who doesn't spare me? You know, I want to hear all the dark thoughts.
Yeah.
So like a Bret Easton Ellis narrator is great,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
American
yeah.
Psycho or The Shard.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed those. Yeah.
Yeah, raw
Yeah.
honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
raw
awesome.
honesty is fun.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Do you have any like comfort books that you like ever go back to or reread or maybe draw inspiration from?
Yeah, I mean, I love Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales, and I love them because they're always these lonely, kind of powerless
Mm-hmm.
characters. Sometimes it's not a person, sometimes it's a tree or it's an animal or
Mm-hmm.
something, but they long for another kind of life, and then you kind of follow them on their journey. They're really heartbreaking, and beautiful. So I do love reading those. Um, and I love I love The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, which is
Okay.
it's not really a children's book, but it's always been called that. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
about a mole and a water rat and a toad, who
Mm-hmm.
live by the riverbank. Um, and they just have different adventures by the riverbank.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's so beautifully written, and it's all about friendship. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just, yeah, I love that book. And I love, 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 and have always loved, and reread frequently, a book called The Torn Skirt by Rebecca Godfrey, which is just a book about a teenage runaway. It's
Oh.
really like a very, very simple story, but it gets me every time because of the voice. This
Yeah.
girl, she really channeled that being 16 and being like vulnerable, but being angry and just wanting a different life and running to try to find it. Yeah, it's such a great book.
I'm
Okay,
putting that
we
on
gotta
my
put some of these.
TBR.
I was
Yeah,
gonna write some of these down, these recs.
I
Sound
think
like good recs.
I've
But
heard I've heard it's like a Catcher in the Rye for girls. That's the
oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
like that.
sounds good
yeah, yeah,
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Catcher in the Rye always gets recommended, but
Yeah.
like reading that as a 15-year-old girl, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's not quite the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do a little this or that game. It's just like a book edition, and there's not really a winner or anything. But okay, do you prefer audiobooks or physical books?
I think it has to be physical books. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's something comforting about the object.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, for sure. Do you like hardbacks or paperbacks?
I like paperbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mhm.
easier to carry around with you. I mean, hardbacks are gorgeous, and I like to collect my favorites in hardback, but a
Mm-hmm.
paperback you can just take everywhere. You can bend, you can
Mhm.
use it, which I think
Mm-hmm.
is fantastic.
Yes, for sure, for sure. But like you said, it's nice to collect a good hardback too.
I feel like that's what we do. We like buy
Mm-hmm.
these books that we love, like special editions or hardbacks, and then but we
Right.
don't read them. We have our
Yeah.
little
You've got your stack.
paperbacks there.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Mm-hmm.
I will love and read and write in, and
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
for
exactly.
sure. Do you prefer to write in the morning or at night?
I do both. I always write in the morning if I'm working on something pretty diligently. The morning is like the time that I reserve for getting ahead in the story. But if I'm really deep in, um, I like a nighttime writing session,
Mm-hmm.
late, um, just before maybe I go to sleep. There's something about like when you wake up before you go to sleep, there's something about your brain at those times. It just,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me anyway, I'm a little more open.
Mhm.
I kind of picture you writing at night for some
I
reason.
know.
Like when I read your books and they just make me feel all these things and just how they're written. I'm like, she has to wait these at night, just like by
This is a 1
candlelight or
a.m.
something.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
love
think
it.
I think I was writing, I mean, I was definitely reworking or not reworking really, because Rouge, again, structurally it was pretty sound on the first go, but I was spending all my time with that book. I mean, I was like around the clock with that thing.
Okay. That
Yeah.
one really feels like just like some of the scenes that like the spots of it feels like by candlelight at
Yeah, yeah,
night
yeah, yeah.
vibe
Mm-hmm.
for it. Just yeah, I love it. Yeah.
That's so
Good.
funny. Do you prefer binge reading or like a slow read, slow burn read?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's changed because of my
Mm.
own, relationship to writing, I because I'm usually working on a book, it's very, very hard to give yourself over to another world,
Mhm.
because you kind of want to at least keep your feet wet in the voice that you're trying to conjure.
Mhm.
So I tend to read between books like that
Mm.
I'm writing.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, reading slowly. I think I do that when I'm teaching and I'm just kind of like I can dip in and out of things. But when I'm writing, I think I either have to be just writing or between drafts, I'll binge read like a few books and then I'll
Mhm.
go back to my own. And actually doing that helps me return to my own work with
Yeah.
fresh eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I'm sure
Hmm.
it's, like you said, super hard because you're like, I don't want to lose,
Yeah.
like you said, this voice that I'm in and these thoughts and yeah, ideas.
Yeah.
But it's also every writer is a reader at heart. So you're like, I don't want to stop reading. I don't
That's
want
right. And it
to.
can really enrich your work to read. I mean,
Mm,
sometimes, reading will give you ideas, and it's not necessarily the
Hmm.
ideas that are in the book, it's just encountering other kinds of sentences and characters and language sometimes breaks open your own stuff. So I never dismiss reading
mhm.
when I'm writing, but if I'm really locked in and I kind of know what I'm doing and I know the world and I know the voice, it's very, very hard to read when I'm
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Do you prefer books that make you cry or laugh?
It's so hard to be funny. Um,
Yeah,
it's so, so, so hard. So I would say I really love a book that can make me laugh.
yeah.
Because I cry enough on my own, like, like I would definitely laughing that's a hard thing to do. I should mention her because I tend to read her when I'm sad and she always cheers me up. But I love the novels of Marcy Dermansky. She's
Mm.
so funny.
Okay.
She's so, so funny. Bad
Yeah,
Marie
that
is a
down.
great one. And I also love Very Nice and The Red
Mm.
Car. They're all great.
Mm.
But she's
Okay.
she's hilarious. And it's not easy to be funny. There's not a lot of super
Yeah.
funny groups. They're not in
Yeah.
fiction.
Hmm.
Yes, that is 100% true. I feel like it's easier to have sad books or to
Yes,
make
yes,
people
Hmm.
cry or
yes.
be depressed from
Yes.
books. But you're right, to be laugh out loud or to even smile, that's hard. Yeah,
It's tricky.
for sure.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Do you prefer the hero or the villain?
Well, I teach a class on villains.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think I probably love the villain. Because yeah, I mean, Shakespeare, the reason I love Shakespeare is because the hero can sometimes be the villain.
Mhm.
Um,
Very
and
true.
I think
Very
he
true.
kind of understands that, just how close we all are, how we kind of all have the capacity to go either way.
Yes.
Um,
The dark side, yeah.
Dark side. So I guess my favorite story would be a story in which I was tested by the hero and began to think that they were quite villainous. And
Oh.
maybe I was brought back to them being a hero.
Yeah.
That I like that kind of character where
Yeah.
I'm conflicted. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You're like, I don't even know what this person is.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. Do I love you? Do I hate you? I don't know.
A mix of both.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, do you prefer a plot driven or a character driven book? Which I feel like we already know, but good.
Yeah, I mean, I love plot. I think plot
Hmm.
is important, very important. But character character doesn't necessarily always determine plot. I mean, it does to a degree, but life happens to you, no matter who you are.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
so I think if I'm being honest, I think it's probably a little bit of both. But if it is a really, really brilliantly written character, like truly the voice is like insanely good and I really
Hmm.
believe it, I could probably sit with them anywhere.
Hmm.
I that is the case for one book. It's not super plot driven at all, but there's a book called The Duchess of Nothing. It might just be called Duchess of Nothing, but it's by Heather McGowan. Uh,
Mm.
And the voice in that book is so incredible. And I could go with that woman anywhere.
Mhm.
You know, but not much happens in the book,
Mhm.
which is fine with
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
just love being with that voice.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, obviously there's plot in your book, but I feel like your characters are so well developed and written so well. Like
Yeah.
if I'm thinking of authors that write characters, you know,
Hmm.
well-written characters, I would put you on that list of,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like such well-written characters. I'm like, oh, yeah, Mona Awad is on that. Again, obviously your books have great plot as well, but I'm just like the characters stand out to me more than the plot of like what's happening. I'm like, oh, these
I
characters,
think that's
Mhm.
good.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah,
I know I
yeah.
keep speaking about it because I'm in the middle of it, but especially Belle and Rouge, like you're so invested and there is plot happening, but I just so badly want to know what she thinks about every situation happening and
Yeah,
like in her past and stuff. So,
yeah,
and I love character driven books. So like I just think it's a nice balance because I want to know what's going on with this plot, but I also just want to know what she's
hmm,
thinking about every situation that's
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
That's good. That's
yeah.
good.
yes,
Mhm.
Glad to hear.
yes.
She was
So,
fun. She was fun, but she was kind of a little tough to crack at first.
Yeah,
Took a
I
minute
bet.
for her. Yeah.
mhm.
She's so
Yeah, even just all like the
interesting.
flashback scenes and stuff. Like, I feel
Yes.
like, yeah, because yeah, like you said, I feel like she's very like kind of stoic a little bit in like the
Yeah.
present tense, but then you go to the
Yes.
flashbacks.
Appreciate the raw nerve. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Hmm.
like you really
Yeah.
get to know her in these flashback scenes, which is why she is the way she is in the
Yes.
present tense. And so, yeah, she's just so well written. She's so well
Hmm.
written.
I
Oh,
mean, I even loved when she reading about her skincare routines when she was like when she
oh,
goes in such detail. It almost
love
felt
it.
like she was putting on like armor when she was like watching these
Yeah.
videos and like putting it on and
But that like develops her
Mhm.
character. You're like, this is
yeah.
why she is the way she is. Like it's just another layer of her
Hmm.
character. It's so so well written.
It was
So well
really
written.
fun to write those memories. I could have written them forever.
Mhm.
They were really fun, even though they're kind of dark, but
Yeah.
it was still fun because, you know, Tom
Hmm.
Cruise was there. So that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
Young
Right
I
in
Tom
the
love
movie.
Cruise.
that.
Yeah.
Young Tom Cruise, yeah.
Good.
Young
It's
Tom.
good. Good. Okay, I just we're done. You won the game. Yay, good.
You
Amazing.
I just have more questions. Okay, how did you what made you pick the animals that you did in each of the books? Like or in the books that you've chosen, like specifically like a jellyfish versus bunny.
hmm
Like
Right.
why did you choose just
Yeah.
random?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think, you know, there are a lot of bunnies on university campuses. It's just
hmm
kind of a thing. And bunnies are very magical. You know, they're kind of I think they kind of hold masculine and feminine properties. They're tricksters. They just have a kind of playful energy that I really love. They feature quite largely in horror actually. So it kind of makes sense. They're like sweet, but there's this
What could be
shadow
said?
inside. Yeah. Um, and you know, it's a term of endearment. Bunny is a term of endearment. So
hmm
Yeah.
it felt perfect.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the jellyfish was, I mean, in some ways it makes sense because Rouge takes place right by the ocean. Um,
Mhm.
hmm
and, you know, jellyfish are like probably one of the most mysterious creatures of, you know, of the ocean. And they're immortal. And this is a book about,
hmm
you know, it's a book about death and it's a book about grieving and it's a book about longing to, you know, be young forever.
hmm
And,
Mhm.
you know, so I think that in some ways the jellyfish sort of made sense. There's a lot of jellyfish in skincare.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If the properties of
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there's that. And also they're, you know, they're sort of horrific to look at, but they're all beautiful. Like they're
hmm
both. And I wanted the creature for Rouge to be both. Um,
Yeah.
beautiful and scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Which again also is like kind of symbolic of
Yep.
the themes of everything to be like, oh, you're beautiful, but you're kind of scary.
They're
And
kind of
Yeah.
scary.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense for both of them. Yeah. That's yeah, again, just brilliant of you you thinking of all this? Okay. I'm done with my questions. Ashley, Stacy, do you have anything more before we sign off? Do you have any more questions for her?
Could we touch a little bit on your teaching? You said that you
Mhm.
teach. That's really interesting.
Sure. Yeah, I teach at Syracuse University. I teach fairy tales. I teach horror to both graduates and undergraduates. And I also just teach creative writing workshops to graduates. We have an MFA program at Syracuse that's pretty competitive and intense. So we kind of see the students through that whole program, which is 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm a mentor to those students as well. So I do really love it. It's really fun to talk about fairy tales and horror, with young artists who are interested. And it's really interesting to talk to just young artists about their process and how they're arriving at their ideas and all of that stuff. Because I was that. I mean, I was an MFA student, so I connect with them, and I enjoy that part of my life. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
That's
awesome.
so
That's very cool.
amazing. Yeah.
yeah,
I love it. That's
Mhm.
very cool. And also like so rigorous. One of my best friends did that, and
yeah,
I can't imagine like going through the program, but then like you said,
yeah.
now coming back and teaching it is so very cool.
It's a lot. It's a lot to also. It's a lot to go through it, and it is a lot to teach it because you're kind of bringing somebody through 3 years, um, which is a
Mhm.
big thing. They usually write a book in the course of that time, or at least they kind of move as far as they can towards a finished book.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's a whole journey for a lot of students. Some students come in with like half a book already done, which was the case for me when I did my MFA. I had half of my first, what would end up being my first book done, and I came because I
Mhm.
wanted to finish it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do a lot of your students, are they like, I don't know, like the right way to say this, but are they like awestruck? Are they like, oh, you're already a published
Mhm.
author? Or are they more like, oh, you have experience, like just trying to like soak up whatever kind of advice you can give?
Yeah, I think it's probably the second one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. I mean some students, they come to work with certain people just like I did when I did my MFA. I went to the program that I went to because I wanted to work with a particular writer because I just thought he would kind of, understand what I was trying to do, which is important when you're a young writer. You need to kind of find your reader. Nothing
Mhm.
is more important than finding your reader,
Mhm.
and finding somebody who can encourage you,
Mhm.
and also like ask the right questions at the right time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like you said, for the long, rigorous process. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Need a
yeah.
champion. Yeah, for
Yeah, you
sure.
need a champion, especially in those early days. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
so
would
great.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
although
awesome.
what I would tell any young student, although I don't know if I should, because maybe it would be, no, maybe it would be a comfort. I would hope it would be a comfort. It never gets easier.
It's all, yeah.
Never gets
Yeah.
easy.
Always
You're
are.
always going to feel fear and
Mhm.
insecurity. It's just that's just part of, I think, putting yourself out there as an artist in any way. That's just,
Yeah.
I really think that is something you have to accept.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 And it's stuff that really matters. Like
Right.
this gives life meaning, like,
Right.
falling in love with these characters, art like this. So yeah, I guess it should probably be scary
Yeah.
since it's so meaningful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like you probably just get like little affirmations each time someone like buys a book or tells you that they love it, or that helps, I'm sure, probably take some of the scariness away.
I don't know. I don't know if it helps. I feel like you're always in the present moment
Mhm.
where whatever you've done when you've had success is behind you.
Mhm.
And so when you're in the present moment, it never feels like you can hold those things.
Mm, because it's
They're
gone. Yeah.
yeah, I think I forget what writer said this. I think it was Anne Enright. She said, "Success is not ours to hold." And I always remember that because it's so true. It's not something that I've ever allowed myself to really feel because it doesn't feel like it's mine to feel. It feels like it's just, well, you're in the present moment right now. You're working on something. It may turn out great. It may be awful.
Mhm.
That's where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Your past self had that.
Your past
Yeah.
self had that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had that success. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy, but also it's like it keeps you like humbled, keeps you
Yeah,
going, keeps
it
you,
does.
yeah.
Which is
Mhm.
important. I think you don't want to start feeling too comfortable as an artist. I think that's not a position that will lead to anything exciting.
No, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah. Because success can also like get to people's heads too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Well, yay. Okay, this was so great. Such a great conversation. Thank you so much for coming on. Um, is there places that we can find you like on social media?
Uh,
And you can also tell us when We Love You Bunny comes out.
yeah, so We Love You Bunny releases on September 23rd. And you can find me on Instagram. I'm Miss Reed with 3 S's. That's where I am. And I have a website with all my events for anybody who wants to come out and see We Love You Bunny event. Yeah.
Perfect. Yay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. This is great.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to do some kudos as well? We can wrap it up. And Stacy, you can let her know what kudos is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we do kudos at the end of our episode just to kind of thank you and just give general like gratefulness for things that have happened. So obviously our first one would thank you for taking your time. I know you're so busy with this book coming out and everything, so we really appreciate you talking with us and everything. So thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm gonna piggyback off that and say thank you, Mona. Yeah, we obviously you just wrote a book, but like you're a professor, teacher, and
Mhm.
so you're extra busy more
Uh-huh.
than normal. So thank you so much. I also just want to give a kudos. My cousin just got married this weekend, so kudos to her.
Yay.
So yeah, congrats on that.
Yeah.
You can go ahead, Ashley.
Well, like them, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, but also just thank you. This isn't my typical genre of books that I would say that I've read in the past, and just thank you for giving a feminine voice to a not so feminine genre sometimes, I think, and it's just so unique. And I love your characters. I can't wait to read I Love You, Bunny.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing.
You. Well, thank you all so much for having me on. It was a total pleasure. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it. I
Yep.
already know, but yes.
First, you have to finish Rouge.
Yeah.
Well, I'm finishing that tomorrow, so I'm almost done.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, everyone have a great week and make sure you read what you like.